Hey Winterfest, welcome to the middle of August, and we're about halfway through of our videos for this year. This week, the spoken word poet David Bowden, a flashback to 2010 Winterfest. David wrote this poem for communion service that Sunday at Winterfest. It's entitled The Feast. If you ever had any doubts about why you take communion or what you're taking it for, listen to this very closely as we go back to 2010. God bless you. See you next week.
Habit, an acquired pattern of behavior, regularly followed until it has become almost involuntary. Involuntary, an action done without choice, unintentional, unconscious. Attention, all those who supper on the Lord, all those who gorge on Him in communion, I know your name. Attention, all those who fill pews, filling stomachs with good news, but feel nothing short of unfulfilled when you're through. I know your name. Attention, all those who formed habits around a form, but forgot how the bread and wine can leave you torn, so you just perform, pretending to mourn. I know your name. We are the Sunday cannibals. Once a week, golden plates spread limbs of human flesh across our laps and past our lips. One small kiss from a cup of blood, one small taste off the body of God. We close our eyes and tongue our cheeks as all our teeth crush all His bones, and our dry throats are covered beneath the bloodied thief on the cross's moans. The Sunday morning firing squad lines the pews with blindfolds on. Row by row, we devour Him in a 2-course meal, more polite than repentant, more quiet than reminiscent, less feasting to survive. We are more dead than alive, because we seem to think that if we just seem to think, there's nothing left for us to do. Head bowed, eyes closed, face plain, mind dozed. Attention! All those who commune in solitude, consumed by invisible barriers of righteous fortitude, put in place by years of habitual attitudes towards a ritual you never understood in the first place. I know your name. We are the shameful cannibals, hiding behind the habits of normal church practice, concealed by clean clothes and posed actions. In our silence, we lie to ourselves. We can't shake our shame from Saturday night, and we know our plans for Monday. But we take the plate, eat the bread, and act like we deserve this Sunday. But through our straight lips, dry eyes, and unchanged lives, we deceive ourselves and those at our sides into thinking that we must be perfect, or at least look it, in order to do this supper right. Attention. All those who hide their sins in the presence of the only body without it. The only ones who can come to this table are the ones who know the grace which surrounds it. And I know your names. We are these sinful cannibals. We are dying in ways we can't understand, condemned by powers we can't comprehend, trapped in a body with a surefire end, and we are starving for a way out. That's why we are called to consume Him. Eat my flesh, drink my blood, the words spilled over His still breathing lips. Eat my flesh, only then can you live. Your injury is incurable, your disease inoperable. We need to operate, but you just show up for worship thinking it will keep you from the tomb, but all you are doing is putting a Band-Aid on a bullet wound. Drink my blood, for the streams you were born with have been polluted by injections of sin, infections of self, defections of skin, deceptions of health. For we think we are well, but we need an IV, a blood donor, a transfusion, an artery implant. We need a life loaner, or we will die without transplant. So we find ourselves at this operating table. But don't let your habits enable your mind to become unable to truly partake in His life and His death. We are taught that the harder we think about his sacrifice, the more righteous our ritual will be. So we fixate our minds on Calvary's scene to do as he said, in remembrance of me. But when we take do this and make it private, we miss the this that he called us to do. Because it's not just bread and it's not just wine. It's a life and a death that he calls us to. Because the act which we remember, the ones the emblems bear in mind, is that of an innocent man sacrificing himself for those who don't deserve it. So we remember this. We celebrates, congregates, commemorates, contemplates, concentrates. But don't forget to consecrate yourselves. Because if this supper just remains packaged in prayers and hymns, what are we really doing in remembrance of him? Attention, all those who believe, remembrance can't just remain in your memory. He wanted this feast to give you the strength to bear the cross he was about to receive. So in this supper we remember him, but no more with just our minds. We will bring our lives to this table. The bread of our flesh will be broken in remembrance of him. The wine of our blood will be spilled in remembrance of him. And this sacrament will convince us to commit our own sacrifice, all in remembrance of him. Let us now feast on forgiveness. May we dine on deliverance. Let us savor the flavor of our Savior's deliberate behavior and reflect. Let us eat our fill of life at this dinner of death. And may we remember with our lives what he gave at his last breath.